Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Faking Cultured. Tonight we've got a very short episode we're going to be doing. We're going to basically be doing some steaks, some filet mignon.
Yep.
We're going to be doing some shrimpies.
Yep.
Yes. We're going to be basically doing some mashed potatoes. We got another piece of new equipment, the ricer. Never used one before. I've seen them used. They look fun. We're gonna try it out. It's Halloween coming up here very soon. We're just kind of basically, we do have a Halloween show that's gonna be coming out. Hopefully. So we've got that. That's gonna be coming up. We're gonna try to air it, release it on Halloween night. Nobody's gonna be watching it because everybody's gonna be out getting drunk or trick or treating or both. In any event, we're gonna go ahead and get started and have a sip of your favorite beverage and join us for a nice steak, shrimp, and mashed potato episode. It's time to make some mashed potatoes. First thing you want to do, grab your favorite beverage, have a sip. This is how I do my potatoes. Very simple. I like them dirty, so I leave the skin on. You're just gonna cut them into quarters. That's all I do. Basically, at that point, you're just gonna put them in a pot of boiling water. And don't forget to put a little bit of salt in that boiling water. What it's going to do is it will actually increase the boiling temperature of the water by a little bit. And then at that point, you get all your potatoes cut, you get them thrown in the water. Once it gets to the right texture, we're gonna come back and mash them. That's where all the magic happens. We'll see you in just a second. All right, look everybody, if you don't know how to pan sear a steak, I don't know what you're doing with your life. But if you don't, just in case, we're gonna go ahead and show you how to do that here below. It's very simple. This is what we're gonna be doing. You got your 3 fillets sitting right here. Coat them with just a little bit of oil. Not a lot, just a little. And if you notice right here, I've got my cooling rack that I'm using to keep my steaks elevated, because once it starts getting wet and the seasoning gets on it, you don't want it just sticking to the plate. So let's just get a little bit of coating on here. Get the sides too. We're gonna get to that here in a second. You know what I just forgot? I can't do that and now grind my salt and pepper. I'm gonna wash my hands and snap my fingers, and Jeff's gonna make it seem like that never happened. I think it worked. All right, let's get these steaks seasoned. This is how simple it is. You're just gonna run a little bit of salt and pepper on them. They're pretty thick, so don't be shy to get them nice and coated. I always like to start with the salt because then it allows me to see how much pepper I put on. Kind of gives a little bit of a contrast. That's some salt here. Let's switch to the pepper. Oh yeah. And as you can already have seen, we've already got them coated with our avocado oil. We're gonna take these, flip them. I was just discussing, I need some smaller ones, but these are gonna work for now. Let's get these flipped over. A lot of people are like anal about making sure you coat the sides and all that stuff. I've tried it both ways. I prefer to keep mine elevated off of the pan and to keep all the seasoning on the top and the bottom and just go from there. So we're gonna just finish seasoning these up here with quite a bit of little sea salt. I like to use sea salt. I like to use good peppercorns and black pepper. You want to use a grinder. I don't know, I'm just not a fan of the stuff that, the little salt shaker. That's for tabletop, not for cooking. So we got that coated now. We're gonna let it do its thing. We're gonna have a sip of our favorite beverage. We're gonna check on the potatoes, see how they're coming along, and if they're ready to mash, we're gonna pull them off and get these steaks on after that. Our potatoes are now done boiling. This is how you know that they're done. When you can stick a toothpick into them and out of them very softly, that's when you know they're done. So now that they're done, I keep saying done, that's okay. We know the potatoes are finished, right? Now we're gonna mash them. We got this new potato ricer. I've never used one before. I hope I'm doing it right. We actually had another discussion about whether or not you could do this with the skins on. I don't know.
I don't know it either. We're gonna find out.
We're about to find out. So let's just take our potatoes, fill up your ricer. All right, and here we go. Let's see what happens. That's gonna just keep going. Maybe we should have taken the skin off because I don't have any grip strength, but we're gonna keep going. Oh, it's working, Jeff, it's working, look at that. It looks like little pieces of rice made out of potato. And now I think I'm done. So
Skin?
the skin is now all stuck, as you can see here, to the backside. So let's see, we'll just roll another set and see what happens. Maybe it's gonna keep doing that. We may have to, at some point, clear out the skins. Oh, that's a lot harder than it looks. I'm not liking this, Jeff. Fucking egg. Oh, yeah, boy. Get in there. Oh. All right, so I think now the secret is going to be don't be an idiot like me and keep the skin on. I do like how it's keeping all the skin right there, but I think that's actually making it harder to push it through. So
You said you're using these smaller holes?
I am.
Should we upgrade to the middle one?
Don't forget your favorite beverage. We thought maybe we might be using the wrong insert. So what we did, you see here, you can lift this up. It comes with these little inserts. We had 3 of them. One's got really tiny holes, which is the first one we were using. This one's got bigger holes, and then the third one's got the same size holes as this, only a lot less holes. So I think we're gonna do a lot more holes, and see what happens. So we're gonna keep trying this and see. I still have a sneaking suspicion that it has something to do with the skin, but it might not. So let's see what happens here. Uh-oh. I think we have a calibration issue, Jeff. Oh, there we go.
That looks way easier.
So that was way easier. Now, what I'm also wondering though is if it's gonna make a difference in texture.
It shouldn't. There's no way that, no matter what, there's not going to be lumps.
You are correct.
There's no chance of lumps in those potatoes.
And you know, what is nice is that none of the skin actually comes through. We were worried about that before, but it does work just like a garlic press. It holds the skin back and doesn't put any skin in it. So that kind of, you know, on one hand, it makes it easier because you don't have to skin your potatoes, but on the other hand, I'm kind of mad because I like mine dirty. So that's all right. We'll just keep rolling with it. Get that thing in there. Smush, smash. What is it, like smash? What's that we always say?
Snooky wants smush smush.
Snooky wants smush smush.
Snooky wants smush smush.
Well, she's definitely getting it tonight. So we're gonna finish these up, and then we're gonna come right back, and you're gonna see what we do once we get all the potatoes riced up in the bowl. All right, we got our potatoes now through that whole ricer incident. Now what we're gonna do is have a sip of our favorite. That's not what I'm supposed to be drinking. That's for the potatoes. That would be whole milk. This would be the nectar from the gods. Have a sip of your favorite beverage. This is really easy. All we're gonna be basically doing now, we're gonna mince some garlic into our mashed potatoes. Put them in your garlic press. That might be a little too much garlic, but that's okay. Do a little salt and pepper. That's, you know, staples of almost anything. You don't want to go overboard because you want to season it to taste, so you're just going to get a little bit in. We're going to get a little bit more in here. Perfect. All right. My secret weapon when it comes to mashed potatoes is Duke's mayonnaise. I just, you know, I don't really have that much left. But the fat and the oil that is in the mayonnaise, and look, by mayonnaise, I only mean Duke's. If you eat anything other than Duke's mayonnaise, you're not eating mayonnaise. So we got that in there now. We're gonna put a little bit of milk and make it best. And now we're gonna go, let's start with a 1/4 stick of butter. Throw that in there. Let's get to mashing. As you go through, and see, it's already, the texture of it is already very soft. Mash, mash. He did the monster mash.
Monster mash.
Jeff's been singing this all fucking night. He can't wait for a Halloween episode. But it's coming, guys, I promise. I think we need a little bit more milk. Oh, I'm starting to like that quite a bit now. Now we gotta make sure we got enough salt and pepper in it. I'm making a mess. We're good. Let's cook some steak. All right, first things first. Cast iron skillet. You need to get that nice and hot. We're at about 580 degrees. That's perfect. Because when you throw your meat in, it's been tempered, but it's gonna, kind of suck a lot of the heat out. First things first, avocado oil. Very high flash point, which I think, Jeff, is 500. So we may get a little smoky in here.
500.
We may get a little smoky in here, but it's very important that you put the oil in first before you put in the butter, because that's gonna keep your butter from burning. So now that that's in, let's go ahead and toss in our butter. Oh, I love that sound. We're gonna get that pushed around a little bit. We're gonna get that melting. Oh yeah. All right, now that we got that in, guess what's next? Throw a little bit of rosemary. We're just gonna toss that in, right? Let that do its thing. We also have to, we're gonna put some garlic in this as well. So throw your garlic in your press. Get some garlic in there. Toss that on in. That's gonna do its thing. You're gonna wanna toss this around a little bit. Turn the heat down just a little. We're gonna kind of let this cook down a little bit so we can get the garlic infused as well as that rosemary into this butter. And we're gonna get the temperature back up to where it needs to be for us to sear these tenderloin fillets. Let's crank our heat back up. Let's see where we're at temperature wise. If you don't have an infrared thermometer, get one. Because right now we're down at about 350 degrees on this pan. You don't want to throw your steak in just yet. So we're gonna get this crunk back up on the heat. Oh God, can you smell that?
It smells good.
Next on the list, we're gonna have a spoon. You wanna get your rather big spoon, because we're gonna be tilting this pan in a minute. And once we have it searing and we have the steak in there, we're gonna be using this infusion of butter, rosemary, and garlic to just kind of baste on top of it. I think we're at the temperature again. Let's check. Perfect. We're right up to 500 degrees. Let's go ahead and get our steaks in. Ooh. If your skillet doesn't make that sound when you put your steak in, it's not high enough. All right, we got these on their first side. Just what you do. You tilt the pan just a little bit. You get a little bit of that butter. Just rake it right on top. Jeff, I think we burned our garlic. That's what I think happened. I don't think that garlic lasted that high temperature. That's okay. I do think I burned the garlic. That's okay. It's not going to be a lost carb because the garlic is actually infused into the butter. We just need to filter some of that out. I think we might have a little too much heat. But if you can see right here, you see how that's already starting to cook on the top? That's from cooking simply just off the butter. So we're gonna just keep doing that. These are gonna cook for just a couple of minutes, maybe 2 to 5 minutes aside, depending on the thickness of your steak. Then we're just gonna flip them over, and then we're gonna let them rest. We just did the first flip. We got these now searing on the other end. We're gonna baste it with a little bit more of our burnt. It's all burnt. A little too high on the heat. That's okay. We're gonna recover from this. This is what we're gonna do. Get it down here on this end. Just baste it. You want to keep it moist all the way around. These are probably only gonna go now for a couple minutes. They're gonna get pulled off to rest. Okay, so listen guys, you don't realize just how hard it is to cook a perfect steak while you're filming something and explaining it until you try doing it. These aren't perfect. I believe I burned the garlic. The rosemary might have been a little tinted too, a little too dark. But I'll tell you what, it still smells phenomenal.
It does smell good.
It still looks good. We now have to cook some shrimp. We're gonna come back to these bad boys while they're resting. See if we can't pull this thing off, get everything back together and on track, and hey, cheers, bitches.
Cheers, bitches.
It's a little remote cheers, I guess. We'll be right back with some shrimp. Okay, here's what happened. We just cooked probably the best sequence of shrimp you've ever seen cooked on top of a gas stove in a wok. Probably not. But we didn't film it. So you're gonna have to take our word for it. I wasn't going through that shit again. It was a pain in the butt. This is what we got. We're plated filet mignon, mashed potatoes, shrimps, like Jameson's. We have shrimps. I like it. Let's see what this looks like. We're gonna move our shrimpies over to our potato mash, and we're gonna cut into this steak and see, that'll be just fine. We're gonna move this over here. Now you know you're supposed to cut against the grain. You can see the grain is going this way. So we're gonna cut it, oh, where we go, this way. The grain's going this way, we're gonna cut it this way. Let's just slice right into this. Oh boy, oh boy. Let's get a couple more slices in here. All right, now what we're gonna do, I want you guys to see this. Take a look at the juiciness. I'm gonna try to hold this in the camera. You see the fibers, how we cut against the grain there? You see that pink center right there? Oh, there we go. You see the juices that are coming out of that thing? Oh my. We're gonna keep cutting this up. I think it's, almost time to have a bite. Let's have a bite. Let's do that. Do you know what, Jeff? He's been slacking. He forgot to remind me to have a sip of my favorite beverage. Have a sip of your favorite beverage. Piece of steak. All right, look. It's fucking horrible. I'm kidding. No, it's actually really good. I'm not a fan. I don't really cook tenderloins a lot or fillets. None of that. I'm pretty much ribeye or bust kind of guy. This is actually really good. I do like the texture, Jeff. Here, let's get Jeff a piece. I'm gonna cut you a piece out in the center. Here, let's get you one of these. Right there. Nice and pink in the middle. Brittany, would you like one? That's for you. Here you go, Brittany.
Thank you.
It's definitely not my best work.
Still very freaking good.
It is pretty good. Shrimp time. It's gotten very somber all of a sudden.
We gotta chew.
Right? I think the shrimp's on point.
That's all.
The potatoes, I'm not too sure about. Potatoes are a little dry though. Look, this is what we got. We wanted to use our new equipment. Hopefully, leave a comment below. Does this audio sound any better than the last videos? If it doesn't, that's his fault.
Yes, please let us know.
Yes, please let us know.
We're trying very hard.
Very, very hard. And what you guys can do that doesn't cost you anything is like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, right?
It's so simple.
It's so fucking
It takes
simple.
10 seconds.
Even Jeff can do it. He's already figured it out. So you have no excuse. Come back, see us next time. I think our Halloween episode, that's coming up this weekend, right?
We got some Halloween stuff coming up.
We're gonna do a Halloween episode.
It's spooky season, so we're getting in the spooky mood.
There we go. Let's see, we got Scully in the background there. Scully had an accident though, he's missing a leg.
He is missing a leg, and we don't know how it happened.
We don't. But in any event, we'll see you next time.